Ben Bradley, a young man in love with life and the deep powder.
He turned into the total ski bum. Skiing was number one.
He always took the high road and took the fastest way down again. Until his journey brought him to a sudden dead end. Brutally beaten and stabbed to death. His body discovered in the middle of the Wyoming wilderness, while his murderer remains at large.
I always just wanted to spend a few moments to talk with him, because I know he's here right now.
And some say the law let his killer go free.
So what does the DA do?
Nothing. After that point, he says, we're stopping the case, and then that was the end of it.
Ben Bradley is a mountain man starting from a very early age.
He got really good at the snowboarding. Really good.
When you would watch him sort of go down the mountain on this snowboard, what does he look like?
Oh, well, he looks like he's in control.
Well, as a mother, I freaked out.
I'm going to go for it.
When he comes of age, 6'5", Ben moves from his California home to Winter Park, Colorado to be closer to the slopes. His life consists of eating, sleeping, and snowboarding, and working odd jobs off-season.
Everybody knew who he was. He was just very well liked and very well known.
They called him the Gentle Giant.
The Gentle Giant.
And now Ben heads out to another favorite spot, Jackson Hole, Wyoming, about 450 miles away. He plans to celebrate his 29th birthday with friends the best way he knows how, by snowboarding off a glacier. And he's using his favorite mode of travel, his thumb.
He hitchhiked a number of places.
He didn't think anything about it.
I knew his birthday was coming up, so I called early. I wished him happy birthday and told him I loved him and to be careful.
Yeah, actually, both, remember we sang happy birthday to him on the phone.
Yeah, it's on the phone. So that was the last time I talked to him.
Later that day, he makes it to Rock Springs, Wyoming, and calls them back. But his parents are out driving in an area with no reception, and the call doesn't go through.
We know he was picked up in Rock Springs because we had the cell phones checked into, and his last phone call was from the cell site there at Rock Springs. Right.
When they don't hear from him the next couple of days, Ben's parents take it in stride. One thing they know about their son, he can take care of himself.
He would just go off to the side of the road in the forest there, and he'd open up his bag and sleep. It's not something he hasn't done before. I've known him actually to go up in the wilderness for 4 days and just camp out in the wilderness.
They also know that he would never miss a ski day. And as the days pass, Ben's friends at Jackson Hole become worried when they don't see him.
They called us up and said, look, Ben was supposed to be here this weekend, and he didn't show up.
What did you guys think?
Just kind of freaked out because that's not really like
I
Ben.
knew that's where he wanted to be, and that's not like him.
Alarmed, Ben's parents fly out to Rock Springs.
Kind of lost a little bit of heart in at that time because I just looked down and I said, the chances of us finding him here, it's just a vast nothingness.
They began a desperate search for Ben in the unforgiving western Wyoming landscape.
We were just driving up and then he pulled out, road rest, dirt road that looked like it might have been used. Mary was pretty upset. You know, she was yelling for Ben's name out there a couple times.
They hand out pictures of Ben all the way up to Jackson Hole, but there was no sign of him. They fly home again and post his picture on a missing persons website, an experience that only increases their worries and fears as the reality sinks in.
We were astonished at how many people are on that webpage and not found, and that scared me.
And then, 3 months after Ben goes missing, a possible break. Ben's backpack is turned into police by a man named Tommy Bowman, who says he found it soon after Ben disappeared. Bowman claims it was floating in a river about 70 miles south of where Ben was last reported.
He had observed one of the missing person flyers that Ben's parents had put up in the hopes of locating Ben. He told the records clerk at the Rock Springs Police Department that he had the missing person's backpack. There were some personal belongings inside the backpack, and one of them was a vehicle title that had the name Benjamin Bradley on it.
But there's something about the story that doesn't sit right with police.
He knew who the bag belonged to.
Correct.
And for some odd reason, all these months later, he comes forward.
That is correct.
Is that a red flag for you?
It absolutely is.
Just 2 days later, Ben's parents get a terrible call. Their Ben has been found, murdered. Blunt force trauma to the head and multiple stab wounds. His body dumped at a remote site in central Wyoming, in the shadow of a foreboding natural landmark called Boar's Tusk, about 30 miles, mostly dirt road, north of Rock Springs.
There was a couple that were out by Boar's Tusk looking for Indian artifacts, and they just saw something off to the side of the dirt road, and I guess their child saw it. And so they stopped the car, walked over there, and came upon Ben, found Ben. He wasn't buried, he was just left out.
Mary, let me ask you, when you heard Ben had been found and he was outside for all that time?
I was always hoping, and then I found out he was gone, and that was hard. It was very hard. They didn't tell us what his body was like until much, much later.
We never.
And I'm glad I didn't know, because I couldn't have handled it.
We've never seen any pictures of Ben after the fact, even though they have plenty of them. We're just not. I'm not interested in seeing any of them.
On his body, cops find Ben's ID and cell phone, along with several $100s. Police are puzzled.
And so, at this point, are you ruling out robbery as a motive?
We haven't ruled anything out even to this point as far as what a motive would be.
Where's Ben's snowboard?
We have never located that.
His snowboard was taken.
Correct.
His family and friends are left in shock and sorrow, unable to comprehend who could possibly do this to their son.
We miss
You
him.
always miss them. And it's a hard thing for any family to lose a loved one.
I miss him.
Yeah.
I miss not being able to talk to him. It's hard. He was such a sweetheart.
He was a good kid. And it's just a lot of fun.
But they will wait a very long time for any answers.
We were on the phone a lot with the detectives. The story ran for a long time, and they were finding all kinds of
They
information.
did.
Next, as Ben's case grows colder every day, a stunning development breaks the ice.
Apparently he knew stuff that nobody else would have known.
This is a huge break.
This is a huge break. Oh yeah.